In a corner of the amusement park, a boy discovered a strange wishing machine. It was running eerily despite not being plugged in. Curious, he dropped a coin in and whispered his wish, "I want to grow up fast." He stared at the bizarre machine and the unplugged cord on the ground. Puzzled, George grabbed his card and fled the scene. That night, a thunderstorm raged, casting an uncanny atmosphere over the streets. Yet, surprisingly, George slept soundly, unaware that his body was quietly undergoing a transformation. The next morning, he trembled as he stepped into the bathroom. Looking into the mirror, he was confronted with the face of a 20-year-old. Rubbing his eyes, he realized it was no illusion. His wish from the previous night had actually come true. Hurriedly, he tried to put on his pants, but they wouldn't fit. With no other option, he donned his father's clothes and rushed back to the amusement park where he had made the wish. When he arrived, the mysterious wishing machine had vanished. Dejected, he returned home and tried to explain everything to his mother, but she mistook him for a burglar. Desperate to convince her, George recited his birthday, exam scores, favorite baseball team, and every other detail that could prove his identity. Seeing someone who knew her son so intimately, his mother immediately realized that her child must have been kidnapped. In a haze of anxiety and loneliness, George remembered his most trusted friend, Billy. At first, Billy didn't believe him. It wasn't until George sang a song they both knew that Billy recognized him. The adult before him was, in fact, their familiar George. Determined to find the wishing machine, the two immediately decided to head to New York. George and Billy went to the Department of Consumer Affairs to track the machine, but they were told it would take 6 weeks to get results. This meant that George would have to remain an adult for at least 42 days. Deciding to make the most of his adult life, George faced the most practical challenge: finding a job to support himself. Scanning job listings in the newspaper, he was drawn to a computer position at a toy company. He exaggerated his resume, claiming 4 years of experience and a degree from the University of Washington. The interviewer was impressed and hired him on the spot. With his salary in hand, George visited the company's toy store to observe children at play. His childlike insight and unique perspective impressed the store owner, who promoted him to vice president of the creative department. His daily tasks now involved testing products and proposing improvements. Meanwhile, the company's chief creative officer grew increasingly suspicious of the sudden young hire and tried to investigate his background, but found nothing. George seemed to have appeared out of nowhere. What they didn't know was that the missing person poster pasted on the milk cartons was none other than George himself.